Hi, I'm Micah. I'm a relatively open guy. I work for Yahoo on our open application platform, which lets you use Open Social to get your apps up on the front page of Yahoo. We're actually getting any slide activity? Okay. Work to actually help open up our products and make them available to folks. So I kind of think about the word open a lot, but what does that word mean? And just to be clear, I'm not talking about opening hearts and minds or opening doors or businesses or boxes. I'm really talking about in terms of software development, and particularly the web in general. So everyone uses this term a lot. For instance, like I don't know, personally I would have never thought that we'd be talking about accounting, that in terms of being open, or the US government being open these days. Business Week uses open about as much as they use innovate all the time, and story titles. So the consumers out there hear open a lot, but what it means they don't really know, and we're using it all over the place. We're calling this Open Hack Day, right? And Open Hack NYC. So we're all using it so much. So what does it mean? So I tried to break it down, and the only way I could do that was do a sort of pseudo-scientific approach of breaking it down into 13 pieces. And I call this an exhausting list, not exhaustive. So hit me up afterwards if you think I'm missing something important. I really have no idea. I just counted 13. I thought it was really cool. So the first one, open source. This is the one I think that's sort of what most people think of when they start thinking of open. Think of Linux, PHP, basically the ability for you to give away your source code for other people to build on. They've got your secret sauce, your recipe, if you will. Then you move on to open infrastructure, the idea that you take some of your services and put them up in the cloud. So other folks can now help accomplish tasks that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. So Google App Engine, Amazon sort of leader in the space here, I would say. Then you've got sort of the plugin model, open architecture. So AMD, Photoshop plugins for all of us back in the day. The ability for you to sort of extend someone else's product. They still own the core product, but you can add little enhancements to it. Open standards, I think this is another big one, again, from the sort of software world. Think about this one in terms of HTML, XML, basically the thing that makes the web work. Community all sort of agrees on sort of a commonality that we want to work with in terms of how we're going to read a document. That's how that works. Open ontology, this is sort of like the little stepchild, I'd say, of open standards in general. So in a sense, microformats, RDFA, things that let us describe to computers what the data is so they can make sense of it on behalf of us. Open access, this is one that Yahoo's definitely big into. So APIs and web services, how it is that you make your product embeddable inside of someone else's product entirely. So Twitter's big on this. I assume most of you never actually go to twitter.com but use someone else's client. That's exactly what open access is. Open Canvas, this one is one I personally care about a lot from the stuff we do for open apps, but the idea that you can embed your favorite content into someone else's product or page. And even better is if that product or page, data from that can pour into these people's apps as they go onto those sites. Open content, we're halfway through, so if you're bored, by the way, you're almost there. Open content, this is like RSS and XML, how you sort of like the poor man's version of apps. Originally, how you got content out of someone else's site and into another place that you wanted. Open mic, now switch over to the content side. This is users actually providing your content. You provide the tools, and they provide the things that are interesting for other users to come to your site. Then next up, then you would have, after open mic, I believe it would be open forum, yes. So now the users aren't just bringing the content to you, they're adding metadata to it. So digging stuff up and down, ratings and reviews. Basically content that starts rivaling, in essence, the content itself. That starts bringing people into it. And then open door. So outside of content, this is like letting users sort of come in and break down the doors of your company, sort of help shape product strategy. Think the way that Craigslist, for instance, opened up and asked their users how it is that they should start getting paid, and had the users sort of pick, okay, rentals in New York City, that's how we'll do it. Open borders, users control the data that they provide to you, so let them bring it in and bring it out on their own volition. So make the tools available for that. OPML, I think, is a great example there. And last but not least, you're almost there, open identity. The fact that the user can sort of control who they are and broker information and sort of deal with authentication as well on their own. This, I think, is the 13th. So OpenID, Passport, Facebook Connect, I think are all good examples of that one. So there's 1 through 13, open source through open identity. The reason I bring these all up is, again, everyone, depending on what magazine it is you read or what blog, everyone sort of thinks of different ones when they hear the word open. And so when you use the term open, folks may be thinking of one of any of those 13. So make sure you've got an answer to all 13 if you're only particularly a couple. And again, because I am so open, really, you can hit me up at any of those and tell me what 14 through 30 are if I missed them there. Thank you very much.